Hi, I'm Jim Merritt with QuickTrainer. Today's QuickBooks tip and trick has to do with multi-currency. In reading some of the posts that I find on the Intuit community boards, as well as I've had a client ask me specifically to help them understand how multi-currency works. So there's a lot of confusion out there, and I've got to admit, because I don't do this frequently, I was kind of confused myself. So I took an hour and just kind of went through it myself and made sure I've got a solid grasp on it, and I want to share that with you and try to maybe bring some clarity to the multifunction issue. So first of all, this video is going to assume you know how to turn multi-currency on and that you know how to update your current exchange rates. So if I look at my currency list, you'll see that we've got Canadian dollars, euros, the Swiss franc, and the US dollar established. And right now, and this video is going to deal mostly with the euro and the US dollar. What this is saying is that the US dollar, it has no exchange rate. In other words, it is our home currency, right? And then the euro has an exchange rate of 1.4. What this means is for every 1 euro, it would take $1.40 in the equivalency of US dollars. So $1.40 in US dollars to equal 1 euro. Alright? Now, I've set up two test parts. One is called inventory part 1. The other one is called inventory part 2. And one of the things that I need to make really clear here, when you're setting up your items, it doesn't matter what currency you're dealing with. This is always going to be set to and mean whatever your home-based currency is, in this case, US dollars. This is US dollars. It costs us $1 in US dollars. It sells for $2 in US dollars. Alright? And that's the case with all items. You do not set up items in another currency other than your home currency, and again, this case, US dollars. I illustrate that because there seems to be some confusion there. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is get some on order, or get some items to sell. And so we'll start with just creating a purchase order. And I'll click on Create Purchase Orders. I'm going to order this one, my Euro vendor, and I'm going to order inventory part 1 and inventory part 2. Again, this is a PO, but I want you to know this now, that it has converted our US into euros. Okay, it's done the conversion for us, the inverse, if you will. And I'm going to order 100 of these, and I'm going to order 100 of the Euro test part 2 as well. So you can see in euros the total is $171, but the US dollar equivalency is $239.40. Now you may wonder, why is it not $100 or $240? And it has to do with rounding. Even though there is no more decimal places here, it still is doing some rounding, and the impact is about 60 cents. Alright, so once I have this saved, and now we submit this to our vendor, the day comes now when we actually get our order in, or we receive our inventory. So I'm going to enter the Euro vendor. It's going to tell me that I have a PO out there. Would I like to use it? I'm going to click yes. And this is now going to close that PO once I've saved this bill, assuming that my quantities don't change. And again, you can see the same costs, the same amounts are expressed here that were expressed on the purchase order. Now, if I were to change my euro, that would impact this. We don't want to do that at this point. Okay, yeah. Actually, if our euro rate had changed, I would want to change it on the PO prior to creating this bill, because changing the euro here will have no impact on this at this point. It knows that this PO had an exchange rate of 1.4. All right, I'm going to save this. And at this point, this is where I want you to see some of the impact of what's happening. First of all, you can see, looking at the item list, that we now have 100 of each of these to sell. The price of these are $2 US dollars, $2.80 US dollars for this one. However, looking at my balance sheet, and this is critical also, notice that it now says $239.40. Sound familiar? It's showing us the inventory asset value based on US dollars, not on euros. Again, it's showing us the actual bill that we created for $239.40. Even though it says this is an accounts payable euro account, really all that's saying is that there is a European type vendor that has been used. You can see it says euros right there, but it's still going to show us whatever our home-based currency is set to. And in this case, that's US dollars. So just something to keep in mind there. Now notice on the profit and loss, nothing's happened. We haven't sold any. All right, so now if I go and create an invoice for the Euro customer, and because this is a European customer, it's going to want to convert these. And we'll say inventory part 1. It's going to want to convert these to euros. Remember, this was sold for $2, and this one sold for $2.80, and that's US dollars. Okay, so the equivalent is $2 in euros or $2.80 in US dollars. It still shows us our US dollar equivalent. It still shows us what the cost is in euros. So this is what we would be invoicing our Euro customer for. Okay, now let me show you the balance sheet. You can see here that our inventory asset has gone down, and it's gone down by the cost of what we just sold, and our accounts receivable again is $48, again expressed in US dollars, not in euro dollars. Even though this points to a euro accounts receivable, all that means is these are European customers, okay, or Swiss franc customers. It would create another accounts receivable account. If we were ordering from a Swiss vendor, we would have our accounts payable Swiss account, but it's everything on the balance sheet, everything on the profit and loss is still expressed in US dollars. And here you can see there's where the cost of goods was moved over for this invoice. Alright, I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, you can contact us at quicktrainer.biz. That's www.quicktrainer.biz, or you can call us 910-338-0488. Make it a great day.